biodiversity refers to the diversity of life on Earth, and all the levels of the food chain, from the tiniest, microorganisms to the ones at the top of the food chain, charismatic megafauna like humans and others. We rely on it for everything, our health, our economy, materials for shelter, the interwoven nature of the diversity of life is just critical to all of those things. And I was thinking about this today because, I don't know, some of you have probably seen just recently in the news, there have been these two studies that were published. One was about that kind of describe how important those relationships in the food chain are. One of them was about vultures in India, and the fact that in the 90s, the farmers there were using a type of painkiller in their cattle that was poisonous to vultures, and it destroyed their kidneys. And so they had this huge drop in the vulture population. And as a result, there was nobody to do the service that those vultures were doing, right? Cleaning up and sanitizing the carcasses of these cattle. And so they had more pathogens in the water, in the streams, and they have tied that to, or correlated it with, I should say, a really significant increase in death rates in those areas that had the most impact in the vulture populations. I can't remember what the percentage was. That was a study that was just published in the American Economic Review. And there was another one in Science that was just published this month that talked about white nose syndrome in bats. And the decline in the bat populations due to that syndrome resulted in a very large, like 31% increase in the pesticides that were used on farms in those areas, because, the bats had been effectively removing so many insects. And when they weren't there, the insect populations were, going up. And then they correlated that with an 8% increase in infant mortality. They attributed over 1,000 deaths between it was a decade from like 2006 to 2017. And on top of it all, a decrease in farm revenue. So it's, intertwined with so many different things, human health and ecosystem health and our economy. So that's why we go.